Well, Moises Caicedo has gone on strike. He has not reported to training of Brighton today ahead of their game against Liverpool. He's forcing a move out of Arsenal. He's forcing a move out of Brighton. He wants Brighton to sell him to Arsenal. That is it. Then Mckennie deal. Here we go. Done. Leaving Juventus to a side called Leeds. Meaning that Arsenal are really so much close onto the deal of Caicedo, because this is one of the midfielders they're really looking at to come in and really play in that midfield role of Arsenal when maybe Partey Elneny is injured. So lastly, Charles Sports has confirmed to us that Arsenal has gone ahead to really put in their plea as far as the case of the FA charged them against Oxford is concerned. The appeal has been really submitted, and Arsenal really would want to really not to go with it because they had fined £40,000 and they don't want to pay it. They've put their footage that will really maybe rescue them from what they are being accused of. Welcome to Rokani Media Football, second video of the day. Moises Caicedo is the talk of town right now, linking him to Arsenal, and obviously after Arsenal put in that bid, they really raised his anticipation of really leaving a side called Brighton, and he has been with a lot of very many teams, but Arsenal looks like they are 100% ready to really let him be added onto their squad that has been playing the game of football this season. They're topping the Premier League by 5 points ahead of City. Though yesterday they lost to City by 1-0, their pursuit of the Premier League is still not yet dead and done. They want to restrain all. They want to strengthen their squad again and again and again. That's why Moises Caicedo is in. Rokani David is my name. Smash the like button, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Want to hit 12,000 subscribers? Continue to subscribe to this channel. Now, let's get into the story of Moises Caicedo. Fabrizio yesterday night told us that understand Caicedo could not train with the squad on Saturday after his decision to go public and ask the club to leave. That is Fabrizio Romano. Caicedo will decide tomorrow, but he has been clear with Brighton. He wants to get the opportunity. Brighton still want to keep him. So Fabrizio really tweeted this late in the night yesterday, and we're asking ourselves, is he really going to go ahead and really train with Brighton? But it looks like his agent had told him, let's go for the bitter pill to swallow. That's it. And they've swallowed the bitter pill. They are now telling a man called Bloom and Dezabi to let him go because the player no longer wants to be there. Now this morning we've gotten a confirmation coming from Fabrizio Romano that Caicedo did not turn up for training today. He wants to leave immediately. Caicedo could also miss tomorrow's game against Liverpool. Understand Arsenal expected to improve their bid after £60 million bid revealed yesterday. Chelsea offered £55 million. It was rejected too. So Caicedo is doing it the hard way. You know, some clubs are stubborn. I've seen Leicester do this. When Wesley Fofana wanted to go to Chelsea and they never wanted to release him, this is what happened. He did the needful and said, I'm not going to train with you, I want to go to Chelsea. And they sold him at £75 million, because when a bid of like £70 million comes in through for a player like Wesley Fofana from Chelsea, a player that you bought like at £20 million, was it 20 or 15? You're making a profit of close to £60 million. Why don't you let the player go? You know, these clubs need to know their position. They are a selling club. That's it. Leicester City is a selling club. Not so. Brighton is a selling club because they've not yet got that status of teams that can really keep these players around. What keeps the player around? One, money. Secondly, the dream of really being champions and winning trophies. For Caicedo, he believes he has done it all. In the statement he issued yesterday, that he has played with the entire heart of his every time he was playing for Brighton, and he believes it's time for him to really leave. And he's going to be sold on a record club fee, meaning that Arsenal have fed him in of how much they are willing to get in the second bid. So this player is showing Brighton that I no longer belong here. You're going to get close to £75 million for me from Arsenal. Why don't you let me go? So the guy is pushing for a move. Seriously. He's not in training. And obviously, if he's not in training, there is no way the manager is going to feel him when they are playing a team called Liverpool in the FA Cup tomorrow. So that is Moises Caicedo for you. He's really pushing in for a move to go on and really play for a side known as Arsenal. And this is what's supposed to do if at all you really want to get out of clubs like Brighton, because it's always not easy to let you out. That's it. Especially at the level where this guy is. Then Jacobs Ben has also gone ahead to confirm to us the following, that Caicedo will not return to Brighton until after the transfer window closes. Have you heard? Club stays on a sale remains unchanged. Caicedo will not be part of the FA Cup game with Liverpool, although suitors and Caicedo's new agents haven't given up. Brighton planning to keep hold. So Caicedo has striked. He has said, I'm not return. It's not that I'm not missing training today, but I'm not going to return to Brighton until the window closes. Now, Brighton they're stancing themselves on the sale of this guy. But let me confirm to you, if you are Brighton, and you're the owner, would you not get £70 million for Caicedo, a player that you got less than £10 million? You're making a profit of close to £60 million, and they're willing to give you close to £65 million of 65 million pounds of guaranteed fees, then £10 million of add-ons. Why don't you let the player go? It's always bad to live in denial, and the more you live in denial, the more you really cost yourself. So I think it's high time Brighton recognize that they are doing more harm than good to themselves. But I believe they're just buying time for themselves to make it hard and maybe look for replacement. But when a player comes out and really puts out a statement, a public transfer request, puts outside there in the public that he wants to go, obviously that means the player is fed up and wants to leave your club. So I think it's better you let him go, because no manager would love to keep a player who doesn't want to start the club. Because for Trossard, he still wanted to be at Brighton, but when he fell out with De Zerbi, he said, allow me go. And obviously, De Zerbi wouldn't like to really fall out with a player of the quality of Caicedo again, because he might be sending a very bad image to the players. Yet, he had come on through and really made them play very well, win very many games. They're in the top 10 teams that are really topping the league. You wouldn't like your career at a club like Brighton to be having those ups and downs at the club. So I believe if I told him De Zerbi, I'm a very good coach, I know where replacements are, he should scout for replacement as soon as possible. Today is 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st. They are left with 4 days to find themselves in the know of what we call a new signing or a replacement for Moises Caicedo. So I think it's better they use that time, sell Caicedo to Arsenal, and obviously bringing in the backup or the replacement of this guy at your club. That's would have been my advice, and those are my thoughts. But I believe Caicedo is on a move to Arsenal. He's really going to Arsenal, because when Chelsea put in that bid, he never really came out and really said, I want to go. And let me be on record that this player just wants to go to Arsenal, because when Chelsea put in that bid, there is a statement that Moises Caicedo put out. Can I find it? Let me find it here. I'm trying to really look for it. Before he really put out a statement that he's going to stay at Brighton, he's willing to give them everything they want. But after Arsenal came in through, he really said, I'm going to leave your side. And he went on strike. So is it because of the new agent that he got? He's really telling him that, please, I want to leave this side. That's a discussion for another day. Or it's really a discussion that the player really wants out of the club, and he's just not being really favored to really go. So I believe I failed to find that tweet that he said when he was linked to Chelsea. He held an interview on the Brighton website and said, I'm here, I'm happy, and I want to stay. Arsenal comes in, he says, I want to go, and is striking, puts out a statement. He goes ahead on Instagram to pin an Instagram post when he made his debut for Brighton and they were playing against Arsenal. That was an indicator that he wants to go to Arsenal, not so? So that is Moises Caicedo for you, a player that Arsenal is really running at right about now. Now, there is Jack Rosa. He's a football reporter for The Sun. He has something to really let us know about this Caicedo situation, because every journalist close to this deal is really trying to get us information that is almost coinciding with what Fabrizio and Jacob's been really telling us. He's telling us that Brighton have held further talks with Arsenal this morning, where owner Blom has told them Caicedo is categorically not for sale this month. Brighton digging their heels in, while the behavior of Caicedo's new representatives has not gone down well. So they're still adamant, but them being adamant won't stop Caicedo, because Caicedo has told them, I'm not returning to Brighton until the transfer window really closes. And you wouldn't like to keep a player like Caicedo, because his attitude might affect his career, and you wouldn't be in a ground of earning even 70 million pounds, because keeping him at Brighton when he doesn't want to play for you, that will call for deepening in form. When he dips in form, is there any teams that is going to come out and really give you money for Caicedo? Fell off. So I believe it's better for this side to really understand that the player needs to be sold and not miss out on money, because the most important thing is that they did a very good scouting on the player, and obviously what they don't need is to lose him on a cheap. So it's better let Caicedo go and get the 75 million pounds in your pocket. Now, we've been told by Charles Watts that Charles Watts is an Arsenal correspondent for Goal, that Brighton have been unequivocal in their response to Arsenal's bid. They remain adamant Caicedo isn't for sale, even after his statement. Arsenal yet to make second bid. They think 60 million pounds is not fair. They are currently pondering what to do next. Big decision to make with time ticking. So, Arsenal planning to put in a second bid. So, this is a correspondent of Arsenal being fed in by the club of Arsenal for Goal. So, he's telling you that Arsenal are planning to make a second bid. Pondering meaning they are thinking about what to do next. So, the decision to make with time ticking. So, it looks like Arsenal want to get this player onto their entourage of this season. So, nothing is going to stop them from really going in for Caicedo, and they are all out trying to prepare a second bid to sign a player called Moises Caicedo from Brighton. That is all about Caicedo. And after Caicedo, there is a player that Arsenal has been really chasing for. That is Mckennie. They held talks with his agent in London for like a week, but it looks like Arsenal have really chosen on who to take. Caicedo, Bamba, Onana, and Mckennie. Caicedo is the right pick for Arsenal. And guess what? After Arsenal showing that they don't want Mckennie, today Fabrizio Romano has told us that Weston Mckennie to Leeds, here we go. Understand Leeds will pay 1.2 million euros loan fee. Deal will include buy clause of 33 million euros plus add-ons. Leeds president Ladrizani unlocked the deal with Juventus in the night. He has personal terms with Leeds agreed. So Mckennie is one of those players that Arsenal are looking at, and when you look at the agreed principle of the deal, it would have been an easy deal for Arsenal to execute. But when you look at how things are really going in through a club known as Arsenal, it shows you how good and beautiful this is really going on and really on in the sides of Leeds. But Arsenal, 1.2 million euros loan fee plus 33 million euros in the summer. That is a bargain for Arsenal, but they've said we're not going in for him. But Mckennie is a very good player, and I think you're going to see him at Leeds play for them. I think next weekend. That's when he will be through. He's going to come in, undergo his medical, and become a new Leeds player. So it shows you how Leeds are really trying to strengthen themselves. But the deal has happened because Arsenal pulled out. If at all Arsenal never pulled out, I wouldn't have seen this deal happening in favor of Leeds. But Mckennie is coming to Leeds. So let's get into this. Arsenal is one of those teams that were fined by the FA to pay £40,000 after the behavior of their players surrounding the referee around the 60th minute when they are playing Oxford in the FA Cup. Now, they are fined £40,000. Arsenal have said we are not going to pay this money before our appeal is listened to. So, Charles Watts, the Arsenal correspondent for Goal, has really confirmed to us that Arsenal have appealed their FA charge against Oxford on the grounds it was unreasonable and unfair. Appeal has been submitted and the clubs are waiting response. They have submitted evidence to back up their case. So Arsenal is not willing to go all out and pay that money. They are not willing to be held victims without substantial evidence. So they've gone out and really throw in evidence to the FA that we are not the ones who are in wrong. You get? The parameters you've based on to give your judgment and fine us £40,000 are not realistic. That's what Arsenal is really doing, and it helps the image of their club, because if you are fined, that means you have gone ahead to admit that you did the case. It's not the first time that Arsenal players are really undergoing this. I think there is even another case being investigated in the Premier League against Newcastle when the players surrounded or circumferenced the referee in the game of Newcastle when they're supposed to be given a penalty. I think it was Grant Xhaka, Odegaard, and is it Thomas Partey? 3 players swamped up the referee and they were really thrown to be charged for. So I'm waiting to see whether that charge of theft is going to come in through. But that of Oxford has really gone ahead to be appealed for. But I don't know whether Arsenal are going to go ahead and be appealing for that of a side called Newcastle. So guys, thank you very much for watching it through. Tell me what to think about Caicedo going on strike. He wants to join Arsenal. Then Mckennie deal to Leeds is done and dusted. And Arsenal have gone ahead to do the needful and appeal to the FA for their £4,000 fine against a team called Oxford that they beat in the third round of the FA Cup 3-0, but they are knocked out yesterday by Manchester City. So your reactions are welcome in the comment section below. Rokani David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Lower right bottom corner, there is a black button that has the word subscribe button. Smashing it, hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. Rokani David remains my name. And thank you for always keeping it Rokani Media Football. Second video of the day. Just know more 3 are coming because we're having a total of 5 videos, and our next story is all about Thomas Partey injury update. May the Almighty God bless you abundantly. Bye-bye.